Okay, students, I think this will be the last section of these videos. Again, it looks and sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. I'm just giving you a general broad view of how the course works. We'll have more details, particularly on the first day of meetings. And then as we go along, I'll explain things a little more clearly and in more detail. For now, just giving you an overview. Okay, in this section, I'm going to talk about the weekly type of schedule. So let's go back to our Canvas course shell. And again, let's go back to that modules link. Don't forget that what I'm showing you is a, like a mock student view. It's not exactly the way it looks to you, but it's kind of like a way of approximating my instructor format to look more like a student. Okay, so here we go. This is our weekly activities. Remember, I said that the first block of modules are basically week by week activities. So let's open up the week number 1 set. Notice that I recommend you try them in sequence. I've divided into lectures and topics, assignments to work on, and assignments that are due this week. Notice, for example, that on the first day of classes, the lab safety lab stress simulation activity is due. By your second meeting, this activity, which is such a set of worksheets on measurements, is due. You also need to have your posts for the Quantum Cafe, the discussion forum, by Thursday of the first week. But then you have the rest of the weekend to complete that assignment because you had to respond to other students' posts. And you will have a quiz, which for this first week will be on a Friday, but going forward, they'll usually be on Wednesdays. Assignments to work on means either, for example, in this case, the experiment or the lab that we'll be performing during that week is going to be in here. But the other ones are suggestions. For example, I would not wait until the day before it's due to work on the homeworks for chapters 1 and 2, for units 1 and 2. So I put them here. So assignments to work on can mean either something we're doing that week or something that I recommend that you be doing, working on. At the top, we have lectures and topics. So I usually like to start every week with what I call a philosophy appetizer. It's kind of like a little talk that I like to give about all kinds of topics. I like to share with students some of my life experiences, things that I've read, things that are in vogue. And sometimes they have to do, sometimes they don't have anything to do with science. So hopefully you'll enjoy these. And as we go along, you'll have more of them. Now, the first one in the week, the first one we're going to do in person at our first session. After that, they'll all be online. I also have in here something that I call a suggested plan of study. Let me come back to that in a moment. Now, if we were meeting in person, that first week, we would cover units 1 and 2. We would cover unit 1 on the first day, the Monday, and then we would complete that during that first lab session. And then on day 2, which would be Wednesday, we would have the lecture on unit 2. So what I've done is I have organized the course, broken it down into week by week activities, kind of holding to that pattern. Obviously, these are all asynchronous. You have to study them on your own, but I'm recommending that you tackle units 1 and 2 that first week. I give you here the link for the PowerPoint notes, some of the learning objectives, and some of the activities that you'll be performing as you carry out and study this unit. And then I have here a section where all the lecture videos are. Word of caution, and let me step out of here for a moment. In the year 2020, on top of the pandemic and the closure of the campus and the rather abrupt switch to online teaching, I had a neck injury that has left me with a little bit of nerve, maybe not damage, but a pinched nerve in my left arm. And so it's sometimes difficult for me to do these things. For example, I had to sit in a certain position. It's hard for me to type for a long extended period of time. And so I have not been able to re-record many of these lectures. So some of the videos you're going to watch are from actual, Zoom sessions that I had in previous semesters where I taught these classes. Some of them are going to look very amateurish. Some of them I had a chance to go back and post-edit them. And some of them I actually did the whole thing in a post-edit mode. So you'll see the difference in quality between some of the lecture videos. So please bear with me. At this point in time, I'm still in ongoing, healthcare. So may not be able to redo these lectures for a while, but hopefully you'll put up with me. Again, you can also always ask me questions about anything you don't understand. If something was kind of weird in the video or whatever, just feel free to ask me. Okay. All right. So let's go back there. Sorry, I lost my link here. So again, this one, for example, sometimes because these lectures are recorded, what will happen is that there'll be mentions or references to dates and calendar items, which obviously do not apply perhaps to the present semester, but I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. This is here the set for Unit 2, which is elements and atoms and elements. And again, we've broken it into different sections here to make the videos a little shorter. For those situations where you have a longer video, what I recommend is that you watch it in portions. So maybe watch like 15, 20 minutes, take a break, go get a snack or do something else, come back, do another 15, 20 minutes. Okay. Some of them I've been able, like I said, to post edit them and break them down into smaller pieces. So it's a little easier to digest. All right. Now, let me tell you, besides these, I keep losing this button here. Besides this week by week organization that I have here, and for example, let's look ahead at week number 2, just so you can see what I mean. Again, notice that I have, again, another philosophy appetizer. Week number 2, we're going to start Unit 3, which is about compounds. There should be some information here about exams. I'm going to go ahead and post the exam study guide. The exam study guide is not a template. In other words, it's not a practice exam. It doesn't mean that the questions you're going to get on the exam are exactly what it says there. It just tells you what to focus on. And then we're going to have our first actual, hands-on experiment. And that's what we work on. And again, I recommend you keep on working on your assignments. Now, some of them are due and they'll be listed here as assignments that are due. Okay. Now, let me show you another thing that I have to help you out. And if I am able to, I will have one of these for every week. This is a suggested plan of study. So what I have here is my suggestion of how you could go about, and this is for week number 1, and this is again for the Tuesday, Thursday lab group. Notice that I have in here some things that you need to do before the first day of classes, including working on that lab safety activity, right? But there's some suggestions here of what you should do, navigate through Canvas, watch these videos that I'm going to be posting, go through the before we begin module, review the schedules, start reading chapter 1 of the textbook, watch the videos on lab safety and using an analytical balance. I would say that on the first day, if you haven't started already, watch the videos, start watching the videos for Unit 1. Okay, that's what I would do that first day. Just start watching these videos. Notice that by midnight, which is the typical due date of every online assignment, you need to have finished and submitted that Labster simulation on lab safety. All right, so be aware of that. So see, this is the way of breaking it down this way. Notice that for the Tuesday, Thursday group, your first session would be at 1:30 p.m. on this date here. Again, I'm doing this generic, so if you're in a different semester, notice that the date will be a little different, but you'll be meeting at 1:30, and it tells you here what we'll be working on. We'll be working on measurements and lab techniques. However, on top of that, I would strongly recommend that you go ahead and finish the Unit 1 lecture videos, start working on this experiment M assignment, which is a worksheet, and I would go ahead and start working on your Unit 1 homework. By the next day, which in this case would be a Wednesday, I would recommend that you start the Unit 2 lecture videos. Now, this is a little longer, has to notice that you will have on this date at 1:30. Again, the Tuesday, Thursday group will meet in person. We're going to do a graphing activity. Be aware that there are certain assignments due by midnight. And then you can go on through this. You would like to finish the lecture videos for Unit 2 by the end of that week. Don't forget there's a quiz. And again, like all of the online assignments, they're usually going to be due by midnight. Don't forget, by the first day, if not before, I will have a decision as to whether you're going to be turning in your lab reports in person, like on paper, or if you're going to be uploading them into Canvas. I'm working on that yet. At the end of this, there's a suggestion for the weekend. In other words, what are some things that you could do on the weekend to stay on top of your schedule? Now, my hope is that I can provide you with one of these study guides every week. You don't have to do it this way, okay? This is just a suggestion. I've heard back from students in previous semesters that this has been a tremendously helpful tool for them. So I'm going to leave it there for you. And again, just give me feedback if it works, if you feel it doesn't work, it says too much. But notice that what I'm trying to do is give you different ways of accessing your materials. All right, so going back here to our course modules, again, remember that we do have this week by week set of activities. And then in the bottom section, we have a block of modules where you have it organized by units. I strongly recommend you stay on top of these every weekend. Take a look at what are the activities for the next week. I have posted that suggested study plan, download it, have it ready, and plan out your week. Remember, one of the worst things that you can do in this class is wait until the last minute to study for anything, any exam, or to do your assignments. So please, be mindful of that. I'm speaking from experience and also from the feedback I've received from students over the past few years. Guys, it's been a pleasure being with you. I hope this helped. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the first day of your in-person meetings. But remember that on the week before that, there's going to be a lot of announcements coming up in your Canvas course page. Don't forget to go to your account link and enable notifications so that you get these announcements fed into your email box. Or if you have the Canvas app, you'll get them as messages in the Canvas app. Great to be with you. Looking forward to a great semester, to a great journey, and to seeing you guys develop and blossom and succeed. I can't tell you how excited I am. So I'll see you soon. In the words of Stan Lee, Excelsior.